If you're hearing this message, I'm on summer hiatus, but don't worry, I didn't leave you hanging while I'm outside. Listen to these episodes in the Coffee with Yvonne archive of some of my favorite interviews and marketing magic. I'll be returning this fall, freshly rested, by the way, with new interviews and new marketing breakdowns that you cannot miss while sipping coffee with me. And don't forget, you can follow me on social media to find out more about me and my life and my day to day while I'm away from the pod. You can find me at Instagram and TikTok, aka the Clock app, at Yvonne_creative marketer. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and I cannot wait to chat with you soon. Okay, bye! So, as I mentioned on today's show, I have a couple special guests joining me. One of my favorite brands that I love to wear, Jolie Noire, which means pretty black in French. The sisters, Keandra and Kim Lockett, joined me for a conversation about entrepreneurship, business, inclusivity, and why building a brand that matters is super important, especially as we become more culturally aware and consciously aware consumers. So enjoy this conversation and interview with Jolie Noire. All right, so as I mentioned, I am super excited about who is joining me for coffee today. We have Jolie Noire. I'm going to get it right, y'all, which means pretty black in French. And the ladies, they founded their own luxury essential wear brand, as you can see that I am wearing, a brand for women and men that is built on the belief that black is beautiful. Founded by Atlanta-based blood sisters Keandra and Kim Lockett, Jolie Noire, I promise you I will get it right, is an effort to level the playing field and change the meaning, emotions, and values associated with black. One thing that I want to note that I love in their bio, color is something that does not come pre-labeled, we label it. At Jolie Noire, we believe that black, like other colors, is beautiful. Welcome to Coffee with Yvonne.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for joining me. So let's get into these questions. First of all, Jolie Noire, which means pretty black in French, is an interesting name for a clothing brand. What inspired you to start the brand and name it Jolie Noire?
So Keandra and I, this is not our first business venture. We had a brand that was called the Red Glasses Sisters. It was pretty limiting in the name itself. We had a large male following. We wanted to branch off into clothing, and we really couldn't see the path on how to make it make sense for both our male audience and clothing. So we dissolved that business, and we were looking for a name that meant something, because at the time it was during the Trayvon Martin, all of that stuff that was going on. And we were like, I was in school getting my master's in counseling. Keandra was already advocating for women. So with all of that was going on, we decided to create our brand geared toward women, and specifically Black women, because in my school, I learned of different statistics that seem to place Black women as an afterthought. Mm-hmm. And so combining our efforts and knowledge, we decided to name our brand Jolie Noire. And we are not French ourselves, but we are from Louisiana, which is French culture. Yeah. So that's where the name comes from. You got to make it make sense on every level, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that is what inspired our brand. What inspired our graphic tees was that Keandra and I, we, as we had our brand, it was like our first year after our soft launch. We weren't really official. We were just kind of testing the product. After our soft launch, we went to a store, a well-known store, and they had like 10 different styles of graphic tees. One of them had a Black woman, and they were very limited in their size range. I got one, Keandra wanted one, but they were all sold out of the Black one. And this brand has a high amount of African-American supporters. So we were like, yeah, that's a little problematic, but let's go see if we can find something like this anywhere else. We could not find it anywhere else. We're like, well, we have our brand, so we can just launch it under that, and it will fill our need or our want for that. And we did not realize that we were really solving a problem for other people. But yeah, other people liked it too. So yeah.
No, we don't just like it. We love it. Like, When I saw, and I know we'll get into this a little later, but when I saw the advertisement come across my Instagram feed, I said, now, wait a minute. A sweatshirt with a Black woman on it and it's chic? Right. Oh, let me go into his add to cart really quick. So it just made sense. And I love how you explained that as sisters, you were first in business together, which follows into my next question. How do you balance working together and building a business? Y'all can tell the truth here. I know it's not easy. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, we're human, we're sisters and, all that jazz. So, you have your times where you don't agree, you don't agree on what we should do as it relates to structure and things like that and the business or, color combinations and things like that. But at the end of the day, you come together and you agree to disagree sometimes, but I think that it's a lot easier for us to come together and move past different issues and, things like that related to issues and work and business and stuff like that, because we are family, if it was us and probably another set of people like at an actual 9-to-5, it would probably be a little bit harder to, handle personalities or deal with them because, we ain't been rocking with them all our lives. Like we've been together all our lives, so it's a lot easier to deal with, work and family. Our mom is also a partner as well. So it takes a lot of focusing on what really matters, and what really matters at the end of the day is working this business so that the mission can go out and so that we can actually make money. We want to build generational wealth and ain't nobody let no arguments and nothing like that get in the way of any of those things. So.
And you know what? That makes a lot of sense because as I'm a 9-to-5preneur, as I like to call myself, I work a full-time 9-to-5 in my field of marketing as a manager. But I also, girl, I'm busy. But I also have Pink Dollhouse Marketing that I run on evenings and weekends, and I actually enlist my mom for help sometimes. My mom wrote my contracts for me because she's a contract specialist. She advises me on business. She keeps it real with me when something is attainable and when something is like, girl, you need to put that to your 2023 goals because you can't handle it right now, So I totally understand that. And I love the beauty in your honesty with that because there's something beautiful about working with family is going to have your back.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So that's a beautiful thing to do. And really when I want to move on to my next question, again, I mentioned in the beginning, it's so comfortable. I call your clothing Aaron chic because like, for example, for those of us who have to get dressed up and go to an office, we don't want to wear confining clothes as much on the weekends. So, explain like, for those like who like to wear your clothes to go to, I don't know, Target or, other places to run their errands, why did you choose to create an apparel company centered around comfort?
Yeah, so because we're an essential wear brand, we, Keandra and I, we played around actually with a leisure wear line, athleisure, but what we really are is essential wear because what our goal has always been is to expand beyond just comfort clothing. What we want to do is be have every piece that would build your capsule wardrobe. So you'll always need a sweatshirt, t-shirt, a good pair of leggings, joggers, things like that. Those are basics. Those are your bare necessities. I remember when the pandemic started, a lot of our fashion girls said that they did not have, I saw a lot of bloggers and influencers saying they didn't have comfort clothing. Like they didn't have too comfortable clothing. I didn't have it either. It's funny. As much as we we started in we did our hard launch in 2019. And so that was like maybe a few months before the pandemic. And, we had some things, but we did not have as much as we have now, obviously. But, we just did not, like those of us who like to wear heels and dress really cute and frilly and stuff like that, we undervalued the necessity for this. And this is, t-shirts and things like that have always been a part of a capsule wardrobe because you can wear your sweatshirt with a pair of jeans and go out. So it's not just, to wear, like to run errands, you absolutely can, but you can go to dinner in it. Like you can wear your t-shirt with a blazer, or, there's so many different mixes and matches, and people have worn our joggers with heels and stuff. So that's really what inspired us to do the comfort wear. It just so happens that it is super comfortable and that, you can dress it down. But as we expand, I think people will see more of what it is that we plan to offer. So
yeah, and you brought up a really good point. Like I wear your sweatshirts on like a date night. I'll pair it with a pair of like chunky boots and like my leather jeans, and like she cute without crying. It's easy. Like, and even my boyfriend was like, I like that. I said, really? Okay. Because normally men like to see you in like a nice fitted dress, something cute. But he was like, no, that's cute. You're comfortable. We can go out, have a good time. So it's a very approachable brand. And that leads into my next question. With positive representation of Black women growing in the fashion industry, but it is still rare from designer to the runway. I notice a lot of your designs and work feature Black women of various shades. Why is this so important?
Well, because representation not only matters for us darker skinned girls, but for light skinned women as well. And we find that we have troubles with colorism in, our race and in our culture. A lot of people feel like light skin is better, but we've also learned that a lot of light skinned women feel like dark skin is better. And you see like this whole cat fight jealousy type thing. And we want to dispel that. We want to push that out of the way and celebrate from the darkest to the lightest, from the lightest to the darkest, and that's very important. And even with the shirt that you have on, it's important for us to, it's important for us to represent plus size girls too. We're all about inclusion. And if we're going to be about inclusivity as it relates to colors, we want to also make sure that inclusivity sits well with size range too.
Yeah, and you led into my next question, and we're going to kind of skip over the main part because we know diversity and inclusion is the buzzword at the moment. But how can other brands learn from you? Because you are a great example of this. How to embrace size inclusivity from not just your apparel, but from how you advertise your brand. So give them some tips and tricks because they need to learn. I'm tired.
It's just like with having Black men and women in the boardrooms. You got to have people who have gone through, who've walked in a larger body in your boardrooms. You have to have that representation because nobody understands it like we do, nobody understands okay, I want to dress like the girl that wears a size 6. I want the clothes that she has. I just want them. It's my responsibility to know how to fit them to my body. Right. So I think that different brands should learn that it's not up to them because we wear it anyways. If you give us a knitted dress in a size 4, I can fit that. So don't play.
I can still rock it. I just need a little shapewear, just to smooth some things out. But she cute. She cute.
We've always learned to make it work, right? So that, they should change the mindsets of the heads. If they're not going to include plus size people, I think they should, change their mindsets because a lot of designers have said that they don't necessarily like the way that clothing hangs on plus size people, just things like that. And I think that those opinions and ideas, because it can go the reverse, different things. I just think that it should be left up to the responsibility of the consumer. And look, make that money because there's money to be made. We are buying their shoes, their handbags, earrings, all of that. So the money is there. It's like we have a reserve of money waiting to spend on some really highly fashionable clothing. And of course we have our Eloquise and things like that are amazing, but we want more, and that's what our goal was to do for Jolie Noire, was to provide the same thing that our smaller women and men can wear for our larger men and women to wear.
And I totally agree with that because you mentioned one of my favorite brands, Eloquise. I would say a good 80% of my closet is from that brand, because I can't really find, outside of you guys, anything that's cute and chic that I can wear that also feels like quality. You know, I think sometimes, and this is slightly off topic, when we think about plus size women or size inclusivity in clothes, we don't think about the cuts and how they'll fall on that body when you change the type of body that's being displayed, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, for example, the high-waisted jeans that may work on a size 4 may not work on a size 14 or 24. So
That's
just
right.
be mindful of that. And you guys have done a great job in your advertising as a marketing professional. I live.
Thank you.
When I see your ads come across my screen, I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Show that body the way it's supposed to. Okay, lighting, I see you. Like, it's just well done, like very well done. And speaking of the inclusivity, so a lot of people have started their own fashion brands since the Panda Express, as I like to call it, happened, and a lot of us were stuck at home. But the apparel industry can be really competitive to get a brand off the ground and into the hand of customers. Being honest, what challenges did you face when first building your business? And also, what words of advice would you give to someone who's interested in venturing into this space?
The challenges that we had in the beginning of Jolie Noire was finding, that customer base, that would purchase from us. And we knew like a handful of people, plus our family members, who we felt like, and this is where we made a mistake. Well, we felt like they would, support us. And, they love us so much, they'll get the word out and all that kind of stuff. And they did not do that. As a matter of fact, we had a whole list that we felt like of people who would, really be able to be our hands and feet or mouthpiece, and they didn't do anything. And, we couldn't fault them for that because they're just simply not our demographic. Mm-hmm. But you have to have a sure customer base, and you have to do the work, the research and all of that to be able to find them. And so we found out too that photo shoots and great branding and all of that type of stuff will really pull people in. It really matters. And in the beginning, we did our first photo shoot, and it was basically like a brand shoot for me and Kim, just introducing the brand to the world. At that time, we didn't know it was the world. It really is the world now. But we did our brand shoot, and we had these nice, cute, comfy, like bell bottom type, something. It was really cute. And it was, actually a sign of what was to come, just kind of showing people what was coming. And we had, a lot of people asking us like, oh my gosh, where'd you guys get those outfits?
Yeah, is that going to be on there?
Oh gosh, darn it. And so now we did our professional shoot with that, but then a little after that, we would use like our own camera and sometimes, cell phone pictures. And, that's just not going to cut it. You gotta be professional and have like the full throttle, if you will, to present your brand if you really wanted to go. And so once we did that, we were seen by Fashion Bomb Daily and a couple of others as well. So once they posted our pictures to their page, that's kind of like them saying, "Oh, this is us." We agree with them. We give them a yes. Y'all should give them a yes too. We had like a couple of thousand people to follow us after that picture was posted, wow. And then they're posting the photo shoot of us in Girl with Hat, mm-hmm. And what's the other one? These were the first two, and Girl with Tear. Again, those were professional pictures. So, like it takes all of that kind of stuff, professionalism. And that's how you reel the customers in because they like that. And Black people like bougie. Black people like professional. Okay? You gotta get going.
But you're correct, because the way that you guys broke it down, you did the time to invest in building your brand voice. You created the content through your photo shoot. And then also one thing I like about you didn't rely only on social media to promote your brand. I subscribe to your email list. how I learn about new drops is through your email list. And a lot of people don't understand the value of a strong email list subscription and also good content in that email list, because those are people who purposely want to know what's going on with your business.
Right.
So you brought up a lot of great points. Black people and Black businesses can be professional. They can have a brand voice and a brand standard, and they can grow in a smart way. Yeah. Honestly, though, we cannot depend on our friends and family to catapult our brands. We got to kind of pause that, because while, you know, Auntie T loves a brand, Auntie T may not be our customer.
Right. Absolutely.
Just being honest. Now, thinking about this past Black History Month, I like to call Women's History Month Black History Month 2.0, because the excellence continues. Yeah. But this past Black History Month, it was announced that your brand would be featured in one of my favorite stores, Target, as part of their annual collection. And like many, I rushed to open my app and was overjoyed to see your collection in their stores. How did you feel when Target reached out and said, we want to feature your brand in our stores?
Oh my goodness. Well, first, we were confused. I'm the one who got the email. So the senior buyer at Target, she emailed our brand email as well as mine. I was like, okay, so who is this person? So she kind of worded it different on my email than what she did on the brand's email. And so I was like, okay, is this real? So I went and I tapped on the name. I have an iPhone, so I tapped on the name and it expanded and it said at target.com. And I was like, yeah, but this can't be real. Like, this is not real. Like, Target got an opportunity with Target, because we get spam all the time.
Yeah.
And so I showed Keandra, because I was like in my seat, and I was like, and so I showed Keandra, and because we were in a mixed company, and so I just quietly showed her, and she was like, "Send this to mom." And was our business coach at the time. And so we did a screenshot, sent those emails over to our group text thread. And Ebony, she went and looked on what I call Google of Business, LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And she found the person. And she was like, guys, this is real. So immediately we were screaming, like, this was a little bit after, you know, like she responded a little bit after. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like we were screaming and everything, not knowing what they wanted. So,
you were just like, it's Target. That's all that matters.
Ask whatever you want. And so we did respond, and we took a meeting with her. And she, you know, told us about everything that, you know, like about Target and all of the, you know, history, asked us, you know, like how did we fit with their brand and, you know, all of those things like that. And then, so she was like, it was going to go really fast. After that, it absolutely did go fast. And we had a great ride with it. So it was fun.
Now, I can tell you, honestly, I live in the DMV area or DC metro area here in Washington. And when I tell you, I went to so many Targets and shelves were cleared.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I'm smart. I have the Target app. She is loyal. So I went ahead and pre-ordered my stuff before the actual drop. Yeah. And when my friends saw it on my Instagram stories, they're like, oh my God, where did you get that shirt? I said, I tagged them. It's at Target. I was sending it to everyone I knew. And all of a sudden on my feed, friends just popping up in your t-shirts all over my feed. So it was just such a proud moment to see a brand I actually adore and respect make it into one of my favorite stores, and to know that Target as a partnership is authentic, because they really do support Black and Brown creators, not just 1 month out of the year, but year round. So for you, what does this mean, like a collaboration with a major brand like Target? What does it mean to you and other Black creatives?
It just really gave me chills as you were, you know, explaining all of that, because they definitely kept their word. Back in 2020, you had a boatload of corporations saying that they were going to make sure that we were heard, seen, and known in their offices and different spaces. And, you know, of course, when we all shout, pray for such and such, or we're with you on this, you know, a lot of times it doesn't like continue on into the next year. And of course, years after that, ain't nobody screaming that no more. But Target definitely kept their word. And it's so crazy that they are the prime example of it, that so many other corporations and brands are wanting to jump on and do that as well. Mm-hmm. And so that's the bomb part for me, like to know that they want to keep their word, not just because, oh, we got to show people that we're for Black people. No, they're genuinely for Black people. And that's good for us. We love that.
Yeah. And to answer your question, it was, how does this impact?
Oh, yeah. How does
you don't answer that?
Oh, you're fine. It's okay. That's why your sister's here. She's here to help. So it's like,
no,
for you and other Black creatives, because we don't get these opportunities every day. Like I say that because for a lot of us, when we wait for an open door, a lot of times we have to go through a window to, get our big opportunity. So how does that feel to be groundbreaking as a Black women-owned apparel brand for this opportunity? That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I think what this means for us is that, we were able to have a budget, if you will, that we didn't have to spend. And that's important for Black creators, small creators who don't have a super large budget. Yeah. I think that we are inspiration, us and the other ladies who were in, and I think we're all ladies too, which is really cool. It's really cool because, we can inspire other people and let them know that, hey, look, these are opportunities that are open for us. Like they came looking for us. Present yourself well, make it known that, you're here, be consistent, display yourself consistent. So I think that is the highest impact, is that we didn't have the budget of a Target to get out to, on social media and in commercials or whatever, however they got out their message. We don't have that. So that is super impactful. And we get to be set in front of different races of people who wouldn't have given our brand a chance. Yeah. Sometimes we're not even able to go to them because we don't know where they are. Yeah. But Target is like a centralized hub, if you will, of people. We were talking with some of our friends and family about how Target, everybody from all walks of life shop at Target. Celebrities shop at Target. Nurses shop at Target. Radiologists work here. All types of people. You have students that shop at Target. Everybody shops at Target. So you have people with all different types of budgets that are there, and then also different races, because a lot of different races, unfortunately, don't see themselves inserted into Black creators' work. Mm-hmm. I always say that they're the prime example of representation matters, because they always get to see themselves represented. And the moment that they don't, they're questioning, is this for me? Can I wear this? We've gotten that question so many times, like, is it appropriate for me to wear this? Can I wear this? And it's like, yes, it's a t-shirt. We have worn you forever. Wear the shirt.
I like it. We have worn you forever. It's okay.
Ask you. So ask you, So yeah, it means a lot, actually. It means several things. So, but yeah, those are the highest two.
Awesome. And, my last question before we go into the fun part of our chat, what is next for your brand? I know you touched on this a little bit, and I've seen bits of your drop with the gender neutral collaborations that you have with your apparel. So what's next? What's coming down the pipeline? Where can I spend my dollars?
Well, coming soon. Yeah. So we are planning pop-up shops. We're actually going to the Talia Wajid hair show this year here in Atlanta. So that will be our first pop-up, if you will. And we are planning to appear at other places, provided we're able to get the, figured out logistically. But then also, we are just going to continue to expand our essential wear brand. We have some things coming. We're not saying what yet. You will, but you'll be the first to know, because you are signed up for either. But we have a few campaigns that we are gearing up for, and we're super excited about them. We think that people are going to really enjoy them. Our goal is to be in every part of a person's closet, even a man's, to have a little section. We're always going to put our women first.
Of course.
We have all, that's what the mission is. But yeah, so, and hopefully sometime, hopefully we can work out another deal with another retailer. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, This is the part of the interview that I consider the fun part. These are quick fire questions. There's no need to think hard about the answer. It's the fun questions. And either both of you can answer or one of you can answer. So, okay. If you were a superhero, what powers would you have?
Mind reading.
Okay.
Into the next room.
Oh, so like a teleportation kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess so. Visual.
Okay. And my next question, what song or rap would you body at karaoke night?
Mariah Carey, Fantasy.
Okay.
I love you ever. Yeah.
I was getting into it because you were giving me the vibrato in the background, And then finally, if you were a coffee, what kind of coffee would you be?
Cappuccino.
Okay.
Well, you know what? This was a fun chat. You guys are my first episode for the season, by the way. So I'm super excited about that. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me for coffee. How can people find out about you and your brand? I follow you already, but you got to tell the people. Where can they find you?
Okay, well, please follow us on all of our social media. That's at Jolie X Noire for the apparel page at Jolie X Noire Apparel. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel because we will be kind of giving giving back to the community, those who want to pursue entrepreneurship, just by giving some tidbits. We don't know everything, but the knowledge that we've learned, the things that we do know, we want to share those things in a video. So please stay tuned for that. And please shop our website, www.joliexnoir.com.
Wonderful. By the way, I know you're a singer because my mom, she used to be a gospel singer when she was a teen. I can hear it in your voice. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for coffee. I really appreciate your time, and I hope to chat with you soon.
Yes, thank you for having us.
We enjoyed you.
You're welcome.